Rob Gordon runs a record store, ranks everything in top 5 lists, and gets dumped with remarkable consistency. Determined to discover why his relationships keep skipping like a scratched LP, he revisits his romantic past, armed with equal parts nostalgia, neuroses, and nerdy music knowledge. It's a mixtape of missed connections, musical musings, and one man's attempt to climb out of his own personal top 5 heartbreaks.
So was that your pot on a pinch?
Yes, it was, Ray. Thank you.
And I gotta say that sweater's hurting my eyes. It's pretty hideous. It's like a Cosby sweater.
Thank you, Jack Black. What do you got for us today there, Ray?
Oh, I have a little tune, another tune for High Fidelity.
Yeah. Hit it.
Everybody sing along with me. High Fidelity, a cast you'll adore. They play music snobs in a record store. Broken-hearted Cusack makes lists galore and breaks the fourth wall like Ferris Bueller before. High Fidelity, one man steals the film. Who could that be? Well, Jack Black is him. It's very clear to me you're gonna give in. High Fidelity. And remember, folks, be good to your parents. They've been good to you. Boss cameo for the win.
Ray, was that your song nobody asked for?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Forgotten Films. Welcome to Forgotten Films, the podcast where we dust off the VHS boxes, crack open a cold one, and revisit movies that time left behind. Each episode, we take a fresh look at overlooked, underrated, or nearly forgotten film to find out whether it's a hidden gem or forgotten for a reason. My name is Jed, and I am the Chief Rewind Officer.
And my name is Ray. I'm the assistant to the assistant manager of Lost Classics. And someday I hope to be assistant manager of Lost Classics because that's when the money comes in.
You make the big bucks, man.
Pretty much. Can't wait.
And today we take another trip through cinema's lost and found to bring you today's feature presentation. Ray, what's today's feature presentation?
It is 2000's High Fidelity, starring John Cusack and a bunch of other great actors.
Yes, that is the end of the episode. Just kidding. That is our feature presentation for today. We're going to start now with the back of the box, and that's where Ray is going to tell us all about what's literally written on the back of the box. So let's flip over the VHS box and read the back, Ray.
No matter what says on the box, I'm always going to start out with In a World.
Of course, you have to.
Even if it doesn't fit.
No, you have to. It's a given.
In a World, from the guys who brought you Grosse Point Blank, comes the absolutely hilarious High Fidelity. John Cusack stars as Rob Gordon, the owner of a semi-failing record store located on one of the back streets of Chicago. He sells music the old-fashioned way, on vinyl, with his 2 wacky clerks, the hysterically funny rock snob, Barry, and the more quietly opinionated underachiever, Dick. But Rob's business isn't the only thing in his life that's floundering. His needle skips the love groove when his longtime girlfriend, Laura, walks out on him, and this forces him to examine his past failed attempts at romance the only way he knows how. For a rockin' fun time, give High Fidelity a spin. It's sure to make your all-time top 5 list for comedies with a bullet.
With the bullet. That was beautiful, Ray.
Thank you.
I got to say, the audience also absolutely agrees. If I can get the... Yeah.
I did not write that myself.
Well, you want to know how I know you didn't write it yourself? Because it wasn't set to a musical tune.
Oh, that's true.
That's how I know you didn't write it yourself. This is a good time to say our spoiler alert. Once again, we try not to give too many spoilers in the show, but we're going to put them out there anyways. Spoiler alert. All right, now we got that done with. Okay, let's talk about the cast and crew. Let's see who is in this movie.
Well, it stars John Cusack. He's Rob Gordon. He owns a record store.
Yep.
And working for him are two of his employees, Jack Black and Todd Luiso. Jack Black plays Barry. Todd Luiso plays Dick. Barry's the loud, opinionated music snob. Dick is a music snob, but a little less aggravating.
Yes. This is some prime Jack Black. He was not yet a big star.
No.
And so he, if you've ever listened to Tenacious D, the band that he has, this was, I guess it's around that same kind of time.
It's how he got the role.
Okay. And so he has that, he's bringing that energy. But yes, go ahead, continue.
And what starts the movie off is John Cusack's character gets dumped. And the actress's name is Eben Helaya. And, or as most of my relatives would say, something foreign. And basically their breakup sets off the movie. And from there, Cusack does this either upward or downward spiral. What would you classify that as? He just goes through an emotional tailspin.
Yes, that's right. He starts spinning the record the wrong way.
Yeah, and he basically starts reevaluating his life, looking back in his past to try to figure out what he's done wrong.
That's right. He starts to ask those important questions in life. Where did I go wrong?
Yeah. And so he decides to visit his top 5 ex-girlfriends to try to figure out what happened.
And top 5 is a thing it's one of his trademarks in the movie is he creates top 5 lists for everything. So his top 5 classic breakup songs, everything in his life is a top 5 list.
Right. And then along the way, you meet some very, back then, probably less known actresses. And now we all know them. So it's pretty cool watching the movie and seeing people just getting their start.
Yeah. Tim Robbins is in this movie.
Yeah. Tim Robbins. You got, if you look at the cast list, look at the poster, it's kind of neat. It has Lisa Bonet, who back then was probably one of the more famous people in the show.
From the Cosby Show.
Yeah, from the Cosby Show.
The Cosby Show.
With all the bad sweaters.
With that Cosby sweater.
Yeah. And if you look, you'll see John Cusack's sister, and Sarah Gilbert, who at the time was probably well known for Roseanne.
Oh, yeah.
And you have Lily Taylor, who got started around the same time Cusack did, and they did a lot of movies together. The name you don't see on here, very oddly, is Catherine Zeta-Jones.
That's right. And it's probably because they couldn't afford to put her name on the poster, on the advertising.
But it's kind of neat, her showing up, popping in there. It's the beginning of her career.
I'm wondering if that was part of the surprise of the film,
Probably a surprise.
I remember because I was working at a movie theater at the time, and I was a projectionist. And so I would always go when this movie was playing. This is the movie I would go and sit and watch while the other movies were playing until it was time for me to go do my other duties as a projectionist.
Yeah, and great cast. Everybody has a chance to shine. It's what's great about this movie. Everybody has a role to play. There's other actors that kind of pop up here and there. Just know that a lot of these people, a lot of flashbacks, a lot of John Cusack playing like he's in his 20s.
Yes.
And the weird wigs that he wears to make him look young, and it's pretty funny.
It is.
And then seeing him as a 20-something is pretty funny when he's like, well, I forgot how old he was in this, probably mid-30s.
Yeah.
But it's kind of funny seeing him with the wigs and trying to look younger. But yeah, great cast, great soundtrack.
Absolutely.
That should be one of the stars of the film, is the soundtrack.
Absolutely. What about who's the director?
The director is Stephen Frears. And for my money, the one film that the only film I think of when I think of him is Dangerous Liaisons.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Now, I know he's done other films, but when you make one of the greatest films of all time, like Dangerous Liaison, I mean, that's kind of the way I know him from. And so I know he worked with John Cusack on a film called The Grifters. That may not be a film you remember.
I don't remember that one, but yes.
Another great film, and that's why he's directing this film, because he wanted to work with John Cusack again.
Right. And this movie, the screenplay was written by John Cusack, or Cusack, however you like to say it, D.V. DeVentis,
Yes.
and Steve Pink,
Yes.
and Scott Rosenberg.
Well,
I don't know any of those other names, but it's all based off of a book by Nick Hornby by the same title. And the big difference between the movie and the book is the book was all set in London, in London, England, and not London, Texas. Don't know if there is a London, Texas. And, you know, a little fun fact here is, you know, there was so much uproar because it is a beloved book by those who have read it. I've read it and or listened to it on audiobook, and it is great. It's fantastic. But anyways, there's a big uproar about, oh, I can't believe they moved it out from London and made it centralized in America in Chicago. And even he has said, he's like, I think it translates just fine.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, if they completely changed the feel and all that and really Americanized it, maybe he would have had a problem with it, but he totally didn't. So,
Right.
you know, don't let that put you off from seeing the movie if it's a favorite novel of yours or something. But
And for those of you out there who want to be screenwriters, just know that this film started out, they adapted it. The guy who adapted it was Scott Rosenberg, and he's probably most famous for Con Air, of all things.
oh, okay. All right.
And he wrote the first draft, which really wasn't anything like the draft that was rewritten by John Cusack, DeVentis, and Pink. They were brought in later because someone at the studio had worked with John Cusack before and these other two guys on a film called Grosse Point Blank.
Oh yeah, that's another great movie.
And they wrote that film, and then Steve Pink directed it. And they had such a good time with these guys, and Grosse Point Blank's a great film.
Yes, it is.
And so when it came time to make this film, they knew that those three guys were the perfect guys to Americanize it.
All right. Well, yeah, that's nice to know. And I think they did a bang up job. All right, Ray, let's jump into the commentary track.
Well, here's what worked, what didn't, and everything in between.
Let's start with what works. We'll call that the highlight reel. All right. So let's talk about the highlight reel. Ray, what you got?
Well, I think setting it in Chicago at that particular time was perfect. The way they explained it is Chicago and London, believe it or not, have a lot of things in common. There's a lot of underground stuff in Chicago going on.
Right.
There's the part of Chicago that people live in, and then there's the part of Chicago people forgot about. And you can go and see the future, and you can go and see the past in Chicago. You can literally go a block and go to the 20s.
Go back to the future.
Yeah. Or you can go and see the world now. Chicago is just a melting pot of just different eras all in one city. So it's a perfect place to film. Beautiful place to film for this film. And then you have all the music scene they had there, and that translates into the movie. It's a big music scene in the movie.
Absolutely.
Every bar you go into, somebody's singing. A lot of talent, a lot of people trying to make it in the business.
Including Jack Black's character in the movie.
And so everybody in this film is kind of in a waste, like in a bus station of life right now. They're kind of waiting to move
exhale.
on. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's a different movie. Sorry.
Waiting to move on. They're kind of in that point in their life where you're not quite an adult yet, and you're kind of stuck, and everybody. Some people see a future and want a future, and some people are kind of stuck where they are. And the relationship between John Cusack and his girlfriend kind of break apart because he's stuck and she wants to move forward.
Right. She's growing up as an adult.
Yeah. And so everybody in this movie either is stuck or trying to go forward. And if they want to go forward, they don't know how. So everybody's just kind of stuck, and they have these dreams, but they don't know how to achieve them.
I'll tell you what I like about this film is it is an analog lover's paradise. This is pre-streaming
for those
services.
For those of us who don't know what analog is,
oh,
you want to
physical media, physical, pretty much anything. So now we live in a digital world. All of our music is digitized. Nobody owns anything physical, hard copies.
Air. It's all atoms and air.
So this one, like I said, it's analog everything. It's vinyl records.
You can touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cassette tapes. They've got corded telephones in this movie, pagers, phone books. Even the nicotine is analog. You know, there's no vapes in this movie. It is cigarettes.
Yes, you watch this film and a lot of people smoke. You don't see that hardly ever now.
And that is why I was having that at the very beginning. For those of y'all who are only listening and not watching, I was lighting up a cigarette as I was giving my plot in a pinch. Now the studio smells like smoke, but hopefully that'll go away soon. But yes, like I said, everything is analog in this movie, and it brings you back to a nice bygone era. And this was 2000, so we were just in the transition. The iPod wasn't even out yet.
No.
You know, the very first iPod wasn't even out yet.
iPhone was years away.
Yeah. I think iTunes maybe was released that year in 2000 or maybe 2001.
Maybe a year later, a year or two later.
So once again,
we were on the edge of all the technology.
And so it was a perfect time for this movie also to come out. And maybe they felt that.
and maybe perhaps the guys in this movie would have continued to be analog into a digital age.
Absolutely. Once again, if this movie came out today, which is crazy because if you think about it, just now a whole different generation is just now getting into vinyl. Vinyl's becoming. Right. You can go into Best Buy today and buy a vinyl record and cannot buy a CD.
Right. Right.
So, you know, analog records, you know, vinyl records have made a comeback in that sense. But at this time, it wasn't as mainstream. Only people who were really like collectors or that wanted their music on vinyl shopped in record stores. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something else that's funny about this movie is people today, mostly, and when I say that is younger folk, might only recognize this movie from a meme that was used a couple of years ago. I still see it pop every once in a while. And it's of Jack Black in that scene where he comes in. It's basically where you're introduced to his character. He comes into the store and he does not like the music that's coming on, that's playing in the store. Sad, sappy music or whatever he calls it. So he comes in bringing a tape, and it's his Monday morning music playlist. Yeah, mixtape. And puts it in, and in the meme, it's never the song that he plays in the actual movie. That's part of the meme. The meme is whatever is either popular at the time or something that's absolutely awful or, you know, whatever, and that's where the meme comes from. But that is a great scene in the movie. But for most people, that might be the only scene that they associate with this movie,
right? Is because it became a meme. Because everybody knows who Jack Black is now.
And because everybody knows who Jack Black is now.
But back then, hardly a few people knew him.
Yeah. Unless you were one, Tenacious D fan, or two, had watched a show on HBO called Mr. Show with Bob and David.
Yeah.
Bob Odenkirk and David Cross, also two people who were relatively unknown at the time. And of all those people, Bob Odenkirk, becoming a huge star was not on my radar back in the day.
A dramatic star too,
right?
Yeah,
and an action star.
Action star
for some of his movies now. Nobody and
Normal that just
Normal.
Came out.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah. So, anyways, that's another blast from past there. But it's definitely one of those. To me, it's one of the best relationship movies.
Yes. Best end of relationship movies, best romantic comedies, you name it. It's one of the best.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, this used to be one of those movies that I would watch every year. And then, it kind of fell out of just me watching it all the time, which happens, even to my favorite films. But rewatching it for this, you see it with different eyes. It hits differently, I guess, if I'm going to use the terminology of today. It hits differently today now that I'm older. Like, I remember watching this when I was younger and thinking just like, there's no way I'm going to have these kinds of girls or these kinds of relationships that he had. And boy, I tell you, I sure have,
Yeah.
It's just like I was watching it going, oh, that's so-and-so of my ex, or that's so-and-so of my ex.
Yeah.
And
well, we talk about things we like about this movie. Is one of the reasons why I like this movie so much is there's a couple of films that remind me of my life. I've had conversations that are in this movie.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And I've had experiences like the people have in this movie. And it's like one of those, it takes you back. And it also reminds me of one time that when I would run into exes years later.
Mm-hmm.
And the relationship that I had in my memory would be brought back, and then you see the reality. And it was often two different things.
Yes.
So when you're dating someone in high school and they're your world, and you think, oh,
yeah.
that was my first great love, and then you run into her 20 years later and she barely remembers you, or
Didn't have quite the impact on her life.
like the impact with her was, it's like you're not even a footnote in her story. You're I dated a lot of people, and you're a lot of people.
And they kind of go into that. So whenever Rob is deciding to go through this venture after he has this breakup, like you said, that is kicked off in the film, one of the first people that he calls, he's like I said, he's making his top 5 breakups that happened to him in his life, and so he starts at number 1 in this case. A lot of times he'll go backwards or whatever, but this time he starts at number 1 and he goes down the list. But in this case, he's calling the very first one on the list, which was the girl that he dated in like grade school. He gives her a call, and he gets her mom, and and she once again has no idea who this person is, which means the girlfriend totally never told her mom about Rob being her first boyfriend by any means. As a matter of fact, what was it? She married
the guy that she kissed
right
after him. She ended up marrying him. Yeah.
And so, yeah. And, I guess it all comes down to, I think he even says it in the movie, punch your weight, date within your own field, because you never know where it's gonna.
And that's again reasons why I like this movie. It's like stuff happened to me in life that happens to the characters in the movies. Like he dates Catherine Zeta-Jones, who's way above his league.
Yes,
and
he's self-aware of it.
Yeah, and he even tells himself, like, I did in real life when I dated someone that was on that level. Like they're going to break your heart someday. They're going to figure it out. They're going to. Why am I with this guy?
I'm a fraud.
And
this person's a fraud.
And you say it to yourself. You know it's going to happen, and then when it happens, you're devastated. But then. And you put them on a pedestal, they're perfect, and so it breaks your heart, and you for the next 20 years you're upset about it, and then you run into them 20 years later and you realize that person's a dick. What did I like about them?
Yes, clearly had no impact on their life whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so what did we not like about this film? We'll call this the cutting room floor.
Okay.
What did we not like about this film?
Well, I already told you in the beginning, I kind of was making fun of John Cusack's wigs to make him look younger.
This is true.
They're pretty bad.
That brings me to what I didn't like about the film, which was specifically Tim Robbins' wig in this movie.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty bad.
He plays Ian, and he is very crunchy granola.
Hippie,
new age kind of guy, and he's got this awful wig, this gray-haired kind of long wig,
the worst wig ever.
But I tell you what's great about it, even though this is what I would call the cutting room floor or something I didn't like about it, that was part of what Tim Robbins requested. It's part of the reason that he agreed to do the movie for a lower rate, because he was a big star in this. I mean, at this time, and he agreed to do this movie if they would make this wig for him, and then he got to keep the wig. And he apparently still wears them at like Halloween's or when he wants to go out and not be recognized.
Children.
But to be quite honest, maybe the wig itself was not even like a bad wig in the sense of from the movie. Maybe it was his character just wearing a bad wig for all we know.
Maybe. It's even scarier.
It's true. How does he get the women that he gets with that crazy hair?
Maybe he wants to challenge himself.
Man. But yeah, that's about all I can think of. I mean, there's not a lot bad with this movie in my opinion. No. So, if I had to pick something, it would probably be the awful wigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awful wigs.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we're going to hit pause for a moment.
don't eject that tape.
This episode of Forgotten Films is unofficially brought to you by Lone Star Beer.
In honor of High Fidelity, here's our top 5 reasons to drink a Lone Star while watching forgotten movies.
Number 5, it pairs well with VHS nostalgia.
Number 4, it makes you sound like you know what you're talking about.
Number 3, it helps settle arguments about whether a movie is forgotten or forgotten for a reason.
Number 2, it's cheaper than therapy.
And number 1, because if you're going to spend 30 minutes passionately defending a movie nobody remembers, you might as well do it with a Lone Star in hand.
Lone Star Beer, the perfect companion for movie misfits, cinematic castaways, and forgotten film fanatics.
And now, back to the film. The beers are cold.
The takes are questionable.
Let's continue. All right, so now we're going to do our section called Behind the Scenes.
Talk about Lisa Bonet.
Okay.
And because it's a weird connection with this High Fidelity,
Mm-hmm.
and then they made a TV version of High Fidelity that was on Hulu.
That's right.
One season starring her daughter.
That's right. So Lisa Bonet was married to Lenny Kravitz, the singer-songwriter. And then later, their daughter, Zoe Kravitz, who a lot of people would know nowadays from the show like The Studio. If you've ever seen it. Catwoman, there you go. In The Batman, she played the same character, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
Only her name was Robin,
Right.
but everybody called her Rob. And it was a short-lived TV series on Hulu of the same name.
Yeah.
Now, I never watched the show. I need to. Did you ever watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
Is it any good?
It's good.
Okay.
I mean, the movie, the book, it's such a great book. It's almost impossible to screw it up.
Right. There's so much that's not in this movie. I mean, I can see it being good as a TV series, but as far as I know, it only had one season.
Right.
Yeah, because nobody watched it. But maybe it'll make a reoccurrence now that she's becoming more of a known name. But it's definitely on my to watch list. But I have such high regard for the movie in general that nothing's probably going to come close to it. But I do think that that's fascinating. That the Lisa Bonet, who has a part in the movie, her daughter later becomes part of the history of the movie.
So one of my favorite things about this movie is there's a lot of great scenes in this movie.
Yes.
and Bruce Springsteen showing up in a cameo,
Mm-hmm.
which is great. He's giving him advice because in the movie, John Cusack talks to the camera much like I'm doing right now.
Yes.
And
I love fourth wall breaks.
Yeah, it gives you more information on what's going through his brain. And at a certain point, he's talking about his love for Springsteen and how Springsteen writes songs about women.
Yes.
And he's jealous of how he writes about women.
And his situation that he's currently in could totally be a Springsteen song.
So he wishes he could handle his relationships like Springsteen. And suddenly Bruce Springsteen is in his bedroom giving him advice. And it's all
riffing on guitar while he's doing it.
Which is what sends him on the road to visiting all these women from his past. So it was Bruce Springsteen that basically got the plot in motion in this movie.
Well, I'll tell you, once again, we're to bring it back in. Do you know who was originally supposed to be the person that they wanted instead of Bruce Springsteen?
I've heard Bob Dylan.
Yep, that's right. So Bob Dylan was who they really wanted
But
for
they
that
couldn't
part.
understand him
That's right. He's like, sir, we can't understand the words you're saying.
because it's kind of like Beaker and the Muppets. So like,
Sir, can you just sing all of your lines? We might be able to understand you then. Well,
the film was filled with great scenes. Jack Black has a lot of great scenes in the record store.
oh, yes.
How they're music snobs, so the way they treat the customers is really funny. And then one of my favorite scenes in the movie, amongst many others, is when John Cusack has a showdown or a conversation with the guy that's dating his ex-girlfriend.
That's right. It's when Ian comes into the store to have a conversation
Bad
with
wig
Rob.
and all.
Yes, to have a conversation with Rob. And, the movie does not go into fantasy land very often in the same sense as this specific scene that you're talking about. But it does tie into the whole, you feel this exact same way in this scene of all the things that you think you would do in a scenario when finally confronted.
In that moment.
Yes, in that moment.
Yeah.
It's usually later whenever you're having this conversation with yourself, like, man, I should have this and that.
Yeah.
Well, in his head, in real time, all of this is happening while the guy is talking to him.
Yeah.
And it's this mishmash of different scenarios that go through his head.
He hates this guy.
Right.
He's sleeping with his ex-girlfriend, and it's not bad enough that his girlfriend is sleeping with another guy. It's this guy in particular.
Right. And this guy is a psychiatrist.
Yeah. He hates this guy. Like, he hated this guy before he even started sleeping with his ex-girlfriend. So this is the worst person she could have picked in his eyes. And he's driving himself crazy just imagining what they're doing together.
Yeah. And
he's stalking them and he's constantly thinking about them. And there's a great quote.
Oh, yeah. one of the great quotes in this movie. So this guy, Ian, used to live upstairs. He was a neighbor of theirs. It was their upstairs neighbor. So they had talked about one point in time, they would say we would used to listen to him having sex, and it cuts to a scene and they're both in bed reading a book, and you're hearing him have sex upstairs, and she says something along the lines of,
"Lucky girl."
Yeah, lucky girl. I should be so lucky. And once again, little trivia for you. If you notice the book that she's reading, because they're both reading books in bed while they're listening to this guy have sex upstairs. The book that she's reading in bed is Love Thy Neighbor.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, a little bit of foreshadowing there. So anyways, when Rob is finally in bed alone, he cannot sleep. He's tossing and turning, and we've all been there in this situation. And he says to himself,
all he's thinking about is her having sex with this guy.
That's right. And he says, no woman in the history of the world is having better sex than the sex that you are having with Ian in my head. So I can totally understand that.
So all of this is going on in his head when Ian comes into his record store to confront him. He's been stalking them.
Right. Go ahead.
And Ian comes into the store and they have this what seems like a very nice conversation. It was a very condescending conversation at the same time. And John Cusack, you can tell by looking at his face, he just wants to beat the crap out of the guy. And so what happens is everything that's going through John Cusack's mind happens, but then
plays out on screen.
But in reality, it's not. It's just what he's picturing. And so he keeps picturing them beating the crap out of the guy, him and his employees. And usually what's really funny about this is he's got two employees, one played by Jack Black, and the other guy, his name's Todd Luiso, and he plays Dick. Jack Black is the guy he would think would be the guy to throw a punch first.
Right.
And the meek, silent, quiet Dick, in these fantasies of John Cusack, it's him that becomes the psycho.
Right. Which you do not see it coming. For sure.
So in each one of these little scenarios, they just beat the crap out of him, or they
verbally assault him,
trying to kill him, they're holding him back, and he's screaming. And at one point, they smash a air conditioner on his head. I mean, So that's one of the best scenes in the movie. Yes,
and then even of course it snaps back to reality, and it doesn't, and it's Ian definitely has the last word.
Yeah,
gets the last word in, and he feels defeated, of course, after that. But
right.
No, yeah, absolutely. That's a great scene. All right, so now let's talk about our staff picks. We're going to talk about our MVPs, whether that be the cast, crew, scenes, songs, quotes, all of that kind of stuff. So, Ray, who was your MVP? Who's your staff pick?
My staff pick, my MVP of the film. Look, there's so many great actors in this, and the people behind the camera, great director, great screenplay, the screenplay, great soundtrack. but I'm going to go with Jack Black.
I
remember going to see this movie in the year 2000. I had no idea who Jack Black was. I didn't watch Mr. Show until like a few years later.
Okay.
So I had no idea. I may have seen Jack Black in movies, but he didn't really
Oh,
stand
yeah,
out
no.
to me.
Yeah.
But in this film, I was like, who is this guy?
Yeah. In this movie, Jack Black was the Jack Black that everybody knows now.
Yeah.
Whereas before he had played some other parts, but he was not playing Jack Black as we know him.
Yeah. We're used to Jack Black doing his thing now.
Yeah.
But so when it happened then, I was just like, oh my God, a star is born.
Exactly. It sure was.
And his character, he's this obnoxious record store employee. He's a music snob, and he treats people, he treats nerds and people he doesn't deem music fans like crap, and refuses to sell to them. If they ask for the wrong record, he won't get it for them. He'll kick them out of the store. You know, he's just a jackass, and he's constantly just being obnoxious. But the entire time he keeps talking about wanting to front a band.
Right.
And you're thinking, because his character, he's kind of a joke. You're thinking, oh, this kid's a joke. So it's really funny what happens at the end of the movie.
Right.
Well, it's really cool what happens at the end of the movie. And you see another side of him. But it's a side we all know now.
Sure.
You didn't know then.
Jack Black's character is the one a callback to what we opened our show with. Rob comes in wearing this sweater, and they don't know yet that Rob and his girlfriend have broken up. And so Jack Black asks Rob, he's like, Rob, I gotta say, that's the worst fucking sweater I've ever seen. Did Laura let you leave the house that way? That is a Cosby sweater. So I use that quote all the damn time.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Yes, it's hilarious. To go back to another quote from Jack Black in this, there's a guy that comes in and he's asking for this record, and the record is I Just Called to Say I Love You by Stevie Wonder. And he just like you were talking about, goes on a rampage on this guy because he's a music snob, and offends the guy and gets him to basically say fuck you and leave the store. And Rob comes out, like, man, why do you do that? Why didn't you just make the sale? And Jack Black's character's got this great line. He's like, man, he offended me with his bad taste in music. Which reminds me of living in Austin.
Yeah.
Like, I can definitely feel that phrase coming out of a store clerk living in Austin.
Yeah. Yeah. I told you before, one of the reasons why I love this movie is things in real life that happen to me. It feels like this movie. And I used to work in a video store, which is, kind of similar to a record store.
Sure.
And I was like one of those employees who loved movies. And so when someone didn't fit my category of enough of a movie lover, I would hold back movies from people. I would be like, we only had so many copies of this movie.
Yeah, it's all out.
I would only rent to those people who I thought were worth it. Everybody else that came in, sorry, out.
You're a snob.
And as soon as the next person stepped up, I go, oh, we have it right here. The other person like, wait a minute.
It's like
your taste offends me. Yeah. So
yeah, that's a good MVP. I like
Black.
that. I like that pick.
Well, who's your staff pick?
Okay, so I really love Tim Robbins' character.
Oh.
I love him and I hate him, but that's the point, I guess.
Yeah.
You're supposed to hate his character, but his character, he's not in it very much. But like every scene that he's in, he's hilarious. Like they even do once again, nobody's having better sex than the sex that you're having with Ian in my head. They cut to this scene and they're having the craziest wild sex, and he's still wearing that wig and it's looking awful. And oh my God, it's one of the funniest scenes, I swear. So, he would be my MVP for sure. I love Tim Robbins in movies pretty much in general. I think he's a great actor. And his part in this movie is just it's short but sweet. I love it. But if I'm going to go, I guess 100%, it would have to be the soundtrack.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and one of the things about this soundtrack, I think there's like 15 songs, and a couple of them were either originals or original covers that they only used for this movie. But if they wanted to use all of the songs that were featured in this film, there's no way. They could not afford the rights. It would be like the Forrest Gump soundtrack, as far as double CD, all these hits and all that. You know, this was basically an indie film.
Yeah.
By today's standards, at least, or whatever. And so there's just no way. There's no way that they could have put all the songs on there. But you can always go online or like on Spotify or on Apple Music and do a search for the soundtrack of the movie. And somebody else has gone out there and created all the songs either that were in the movie that aren't on the soundtrack, the songs that are on the soundtrack, or songs that were mentioned in the movie.
Right.
Which I think is great. So definitely go and check that out.
And so there's just so much going on in the film. It's highly quotable, but the problem with this movie is it's not like quotable like most comedies where you just have to say the line,
right,
and people get it.
Yeah.
This movie requires setup,
right. You have to have context
for lines to work. But there's so many great quotes in this movie that I love, and we've said a few of them, but one of mine that hadn't been said yet is from John Cusack's character, and it's when he's in the he's in the midst of his depression,
right?
And as he's walking across the street, he points behind him, and there's a theater called the Biograph in Chicago, and he goes, "This theater behind me, John Dillinger died in a hail of FBI bullets," and he goes, "And you want to know who turned him in? His ex-girlfriend." And all he wanted to see was a movie.
That's right.
And
he's like, even Dillinger is relating to me right now.
Yeah, even Dillinger had women problems, and look what happened to him. And I love that quote. That's my favorite. That's one of my favorites. I love that one.
There are once again some great quotes, and so you know, part of our staff picks are the quotes, but much like what you were saying, all of these require context. So in this case, we'll give some of these context. Here's a quote that doesn't require context, and it's near the very beginning of the movie, and it's Rob saying, you know, did I listen to pop music because I was miserable, or am I miserable because I listen to pop music? Man, that's
such a great
ain't
way
that
to
the
start a movie.
truth?
That's a great way to start a movie.
Ain't that the truth?
That's a true music fan. That's what's great. The movie starts out when you see a record playing, and you see the chord, you see the headphones, you see his face, and that comes out of his mouth, and it's like, okay, welcome to this movie.
Yeah, basically.
You either get that or you don't, and if you don't, it's not the movie for you. So I love that. That's a great quote.
There's another favorite one of mine. So he's talking about his breakup with Catherine Zeta-Jones's character, whose name is Charlie in the movie. And so, you know, he's still in his 20s, I guess, right? And so Charlie's just broken up with him or whatever. Yeah, he got the horrible wig on. And it's raining. He's outside of Charlie's apartment. It's raining down, and he's shouting up into to her apartment complex. And his line is, "Charlie, you fucking bitch, let's work this out." Because when could you call somebody a fucking bitch and then immediately, we can work this out?
So that just reminded me of something I noticed about this movie, and we've mentioned this in the past. There are certain things that certain directors or filmmakers or actors do.
Oh yeah, like their traits.
And eat their traits. And this film, it just exhibits one of these traits that I've noticed through a lot of John Cusack's films.
What's that?
Is that in so many films of his, Sure Thing, Say Anything, High Fidelity, Identity, being John Malkovich. He's in the rain, and he's been dumped, and he's depressed. Nobody does that like him. He does it in almost every movie of his, and that scene took place in the rain.
That's right. Yeah,
he's getting soaked,
that's funny.
And there's even a scene where he tries to hide, and he plops in some mud, to hide. It's like he keeps getting caught in the rain right after being dumped, and when in his lowest of lows, he's always caught in the rain in every one of his movies. So I call that the Cusack cliche.
I can't, man. I love alliteration, but man, I'm stumbling on that one. Cusack. See, I can't even say it.
Well, I love that.
That's good. No, I like that one. All right, Ray. Time for the big question.
Hidden gem
or forgotten for a reason. This is where we talk about our final verdict on the film. Okay, Ray, what do you think?
Should come as no shock. I think it should be remembered.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hidden gem for sure.
Hidden gem. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about this movie ever. And I think it should be talked about.
And people talk about a lot of John Cusack's movies.
But I never hear it come up.
And you can tell people who know and understand music and can talk about it. And he helped write the screenplay.
Right.
You know, he is a music person like this. Jack Black absolutely is a music person like this.
Right.
These are all people who definitely can talk music, and they probably had to cut more things than were actually even in the movie.
Right.
You know, that they could talk about more so than just memorizing the lines and saying it.
Yeah, Nick Hornby said these were the three guys that wrote the script, and then John Cusack started the film. He said those are the three perfect guys to adapt my book because they got it.
Yeah, and you do not always get that kind of praise. Just ask Stephen King.
Yeah,
people adapting his movies or his novels
as he's counting his cash.
Yeah, that's right.
Those movies sucked.
Movies suck. Yeah. So yes, definitely a hidden gem in my book. Definitely worth a watch. So in honor of High Fidelity and the top 5 list that Rob likes to make, this is my top 5 breakup movies. We'll start with number 1. We'll go in order this time.
Okay.
Yeah, start with number 1. High Fidelity. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie, definitely one of the top 5. Number 2, Swingers.
Love Swingers.
I do too.
Love
And
Swingers.
just the phone call scene, the voicemail scene in Swingers alone.
Yeah.
Man.
Again, speaking of movies where real life
Yes.
is in the movie.
That we felt it.
Yeah, we felt
Yes.
it.
Number 3, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I love this. I
so
love
good,
that
so
movie. Okay, number 4, Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. Talk about a great movie.
If you've never seen Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, what are you doing with your life?
Yes, watch that movie. Watch it for sure.
Yeah.
And number 5, 500 Days of Summer.
Love that movie too.
It's up there.
That's a classic. That's all those movies you just mentioned are amazing.
Well, what about you, Ray? Do you have a top 5 pick?
Well, I actually have a top 5 list of movies you might like if you like High Fidelity.
Okay, let's hear them.
Okay. I want to start with 5. A movie called Juliet Naked,
Okay.
also written by Nick Hornsby.
Yeah, same writer.
Okay. A movie that Gross Point Blank we mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
So the same guys that wrote this movie also wrote Gross Point Blank. If you've never seen Gross Point Blank, what an amazing film.
And it's also got John Cusack in it.
Amazing film. Great performance by him too in that.
Yes.
Also, another Cusack film, Say Anything. Everybody, even if you've never seen the movie, you know because he's holding a boombox.
Everybody
over his
knows
head.
the boombox scene, right?
Number 2, and it's a future forgotten film.
Oh,
Almost Famous.
so good.
Yes. Also from the year 2000, I believe.
I think you're right.
And then number 1, if you like this movie, Empire Records.
Oh, yeah. That is a great film.
Also takes place
in a record store.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Those are good picks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good picks and good picks.
Right.
Okay. That's one more forgotten film remembered. The movie High Fidelity. Please remember to be kind, rewind, like, and subscribe. All right. And be sure to stay after we do our sign off, where I'm going to play a record that I have picked that my uncle recorded. I'm going to be playing I May Be Over 30, but I Can Still Rock and Roll. In honor of us doing a show about a record store, I figured it was only fitting. So this is my uncle, Billy D. Hope you enjoy the record. So on that note, I am Jed.
And I'm Ray.
And this is Forgotten Films reminding you to crack a cold one
And watch a forgotten one.